Lucy Stone and Betty Friedan were extremely important to the women's rights movement. In different centuries, they both worked to change how women were viewed in society. They used different methods to better the lives of women, helping to create the world we live in today.
Lucy Stone was born in 1818. Her father, Francis Stone, sent each of his sons to college but had no intention of sending Lucy. When Lucy expressed her wish to go to school, he refused to pay her tuition. During this period, it was not customary for a woman to go to college. When Lucy began to teach in order to earn money, her father finally gave in and helped her to pay to attend Oberlin College, the co-ed college in the United States at the time. After graduating, Lucy Stone began to speak out about women's rights and specifically women's suffrage. She gave her first local lecture in 1847. It was rare for a woman to speak in public and even more so to speak of women's rights. Lucy Stone organized one of the first national women's rights conventions, which was held in Worcester, Massachusetts in 1850. In 1855, she married reformer Henry B. Blackwell, vowing to have equal rights in marriage. This was contrary to having the wife be subject to her husband. Lucy Stone was most likely the first woman to keep her maiden name after marrying, and therefore other women who did so were called Lucy Stoners. In her A Disappointed Woman speech she gave in 1855, she said, "We want rights. The flour merchant, the house builder, and the postman charge us no less on account of our sex, but when we endeavor to earn money to pay all of these, then indeed we find the difference." Finally, Lucy Stone founded organizations. In 1869, she organized American Women's Suffrage Association. Her strategy was to campaign for suffrage by state, which is why she started so many organizations. Founding organizations was one way for women to get together and gain women empowerment.
Betty Friedan was born in 1921. Her mother, Miriam Horowitz Goldstein, used to work as an editor for a women's page of a newspaper, but quit her job to have kids and become a housewife. She did not like her decision to leave journalism, so when it came time for Betty, her mother wanted her to go to college and pursue a career. When Betty Friedan graduated from Smith College, she found a job as a reporter for a labor service. After marriage, while Friedan considered her main job to be a housewife, she still wrote occasionally for women's magazines. In 1957, she surveyed the 1942 Smith graduates about their lives 15 years after graduation. Friedan realized that she was not the only woman feeling dissatisfaction about being just a housewife. She wrote an article about the survey, but she could not get it published, so she wrote a book about this problem with no name. While researching the feminine mystique, she met many women who felt that their lives as housewives were lacking something important. The media said that women only need what they had, children, a husband, and a home, but many were not satisfied with just that and felt guilty. The myth was that women should feel fulfilled in their roles as wives, mothers, and housewives, but the reality was that women were searching for something more. The hardest part of the book was finding a cure to fix how women felt about themselves. So Friedan told women to think of marriage as a working relationship, housework as just a chore instead of their job. Later, Betty Friedan created NOW, the National Organization for Women, in 1966. In 1967, at the first NOW convention, they began discussing rights for legal abortion and sexual politics. In 1970, NOW organized the first national women's strike for equality. Betty Friedan continued to write about feminism and play an active role in the movement.
Both Lucy Stone and Betty Friedan fought for women's rights. In the 19th century, Lucy Stone had to make the point that women are people before Betty Friedan could argue that women and men should have equal rights. In the 1800s, it was rare for women to speak out, making it especially difficult for Lucy Stone. She was so passionate and courageous that she was willing to go against the norm of society to fight against the injustices of the time. In the 20th century, Betty Friedan was trying to get rid of the stereotype that women are meant only to be housewives and don't deserve the rights men have. Lucy Stone focused on women's citizenship and specifically women's suffrage, and Betty Friedan focused on women's place in society and sex discrimination. They are both passionate about the movement and their work to better the lives of women.